Well, hello everybody. Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and I'm back with a new edition of my podcast entitled Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, the path to making over $100,000 a year when writing service in the automotive industry. And at this very recording, I checked the numbers before I started here, just over 20% of you are doing just that, doing that job, making $100,000 a year or more. But that means that nearly 80% of you are not, so what are we going to do about that? Well, like I always suggest, you watch this podcast. I suggest you go back and watch all my podcasts. I suggest you invest in my training. I'll show you the quickest way how to get to that level of income. I mean, I'll get it done for you in weeks. Or if you don't want to do that, do the most important thing you could do, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. If you want to have a great career, that's what you're going to have to do. Invest in yourself, invest in training. All right, now listen, before I get started, I want to address the big white elephant in the room, and that's this. I've been getting a lot of text, emails, telephone calls from you, the viewer, over the last several months wanting to know, are you okay? And the reason you've been calling and asking that, because it's been nearly 4 months since I've done a fresh, brand new podcast, and you wanted to know, Jeff, are you okay? And I got to tell you, I'm touched. But I got to tell you this as well. I am okay. What's been going on? How come I've not done a new podcast? Well, it's real simple. I've been doing a lot of personal appearances, a lot of Dealer 20 meetings, a lot of conventions, a lot of private workshops. I've been working on my new books, plural. That takes a lot of time, and most importantly, I've just spent several months and over $200,000 updating my new virtual training program, and man, it is a killer. I mean, it is literally the best on the marketplace. If you've seen a better one, show it to me, and I'll guarantee you, if you look at mine, you're going to see that I've got the best training out there online. So that's what I've been doing, but I'm back now, and hopefully over the next several weeks, next several months, I can get back on a routine here and get you a podcast every week. Now, since it's been a while, since I've been here, I've been doing these, I've collected a whole bunch of questions. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to just answer some of your questions, but I've grouped them together in the number one question I was getting, and it all revolves around employees, finding employees, hiring employees, what to do with them when you get them. So I got about 3 questions here we'll have time for today. Let's get started. First one comes in from Julie from Oklahoma. Julie from Oklahoma. Well, Julie, thanks for writing in. I got to tell you, I've been to Oklahoma a bunch throughout my career, doing mostly private workshops. Never met a person in Oklahoma I didn't like. It's a great state, and I'm going to assume that you're a great person as well. But here's what Julie writes in and asks. How do you find employees and or advisors? Okay, she's having a tough time, and boy, that seems to be a theme. A lot of people in most industries today are having a tough time finding employees, but I've found if you do a few things right, it'll rarely be a problem for you to find new employees. So what am I talking about? Well, Julie, the problem I find when people are having trouble getting people, as you write in and ask, you said that you're not only having trouble finding people, they're not even applying. So you don't even have resumes, and then when they do apply, over half of them are even showing up to their interviews. So when I see situations like that, the first thing I recommend you do is take a look at your ad. That's where most people fail in this industry when it comes to hiring new people, are their ads. Their employment ads suck. They're all the same thing. They all say the same thing. And what they say is we need this, we need this, we need this, we're looking for this, we're looking for this, have a strong desire to, we need this, we need this, we need this, us. Well, that's not exciting. I mean, if you want to attract people, then you need to tell them what you have to offer them. Now, this ad that I'm going to share with you here in just a second, because I've done an entire podcast on this. I've talked about this at conventions. It's in my training, so we got a program to show you how to get people. This ad I'm going to show you, it's all based on what do you have to offer them, and it's extremely effective right now, which is what I was going to say a second ago. Extremely effective right now because what's everybody telling you they're leaving their old jobs for? A better lifestyle. So that's what we're going to sell in your employment ad. Now, off the top of my head, here's basically what it's going to say. Notice, we have an urgent need right now for people who are looking for a lifestyle like most people only dream about. Automotive service advisor is the position. The average service advisor we have working with us makes over $75,000 a year and between $75,000 and $100,000 a year. That instantly puts them in the top 10 to 15% of income earners in the United States of America. Our average advisor has a 2,500 square foot house on 1 acre of land with a $45,000 a car parked in their driveway. If they're married and their spouse works outside the house, their house size increases to 3,000 square feet with a second car of equal or greater value in their driveway. They get 2 weeks weeks paid vacation, and a benefit package that rivals some of the largest industries and companies on the planet. If this sounds like a lifestyle that suits you, if you're looking for financial security, please send us your resume and let us talk to you and show you how we can put you on the path to complete and total success, giving you a lifetime of financial security and a lifestyle that most people only dream about. Now see, that's inviting. That's what we have to offer you. So what happens is they focus on the lifestyle, they focus on what you have, and so what they do in your ad, which is, oh, it's a service advisor. Who would want to do that? All that goes out the window because most people don't even know what a service advisor is, let alone what the income potential is, and let alone what the lifestyle can be. So that's what you're going to sell because that's what they want to hear and that's what they're looking for. Now, if you have more questions about that, you're free to call in to Pro Talk anytime you want, 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931, and we will give you copies of ads like that. And if you want to, I can even get on the phone with you and share with you not only how to run the ad, but how to interview somebody, how to see if they're going to be the right person, what to do the first day they show up and the like. We have a whole process on it. But the number one thing I would do if you're having trouble finding employees, even in times like this, tell them what you have to offer them. Next question comes from a gentleman by the name of Stan from Kansas City, Missouri. And I've been to Kansas a bunch, man. They've got some great barbecue there. Believe it or not, they got some great jazz clubs around there. But Stan didn't write me to ask about barbecue and jazz. Stan wrote in and asked this: how do you keep employees once you find them? So Stan's figured out how to get them there, but he can't keep them there. And what he said is he's had a lot of turnover in the past 2 years. Okay, so how do you keep employees? Well, Stan, you know, this is one of the biggest problems I see in the automotive industry on the service side is that there's a lot of turnover in the service advisor position. And here's what I think it is. What do you do for them once you get them in? What do you and your company do for them once you get them in? Do you train them and show them how to be successful? Do you have processes for them to follow? Do you have training that shows them how to execute those processes? Do you know how to lead them and hold them accountable to use those processes that will dictate their success? Because chances are you don't. Most people don't. And this is something I've never understood. I mean, for the whole time I've been in the auto industry, I've seen dealership after dealership after dealership spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on car salespeople. They have weekly and daily sales meetings, thousands of dollars on it. Yet when it comes to the service advisors, nothing. Now, let's put that into perspective. You know, the average service advisor out there working at a dealership today will see more people, more customers in a day, in a single day, than the average car sales person will in a week. Service advisors will have more impact on your survey scores, your customer retention, your effective labor rate, your heat cases that you get, and survey scores and everything else that goes with it, and they get no training. So have you shown them how to be successful? And it's not enough to show them how to be successful. You have to show them how to be successful fast, okay? So what do I mean? You know, there's been many times that friends of mine and people that I've known and strangers have called me up and said, Jeff, you know, I don't know what I want to do with my life. You've talked about being an advisor. What's it like? And I get them all excited about being an advisor. They go apply to be an advisor and they get hired, and in 3 months they quit. And in every situation when I call those people up and say, hey, why did you quit? Here's what they say. Because when I got there, they told me I could make all this money, but they didn't show me how. When I went to them and said, I get a bonus if I get good survey scores, how do I get survey scores? Their answer was, be nicer. When I told them that I needed to make more commission, I didn't know how to get sales, what I do, they said, try harder. The training program consisted of the first day I was there, follow her around because she's great with survey scores, and then later in the week we're going to put you with him because he's great at getting upsells, and later in the week we're going to put you with him because he's good at delivering the vehicle, and that was my training program. And they told me I was going to make all this money. I could clearly see that I wasn't going to make it, so 3 or 4 months in, I got tired of getting yelled at every day. I got tired of disappointing customers and disappointing my spouse, and I went and I got a different job. You didn't show them how to be successful. And it's not only so how do you do that? You have to have a training program, and you have to have a process. Now, if you're looking for one, call me. I'll sell you one. Call my competition. Create one yourself. I don't care how you do it, but you're not going to keep them if you don't show them how to be successful. You need a process. You need a training program to show them how to execute that process, a process that gets the numbers. Then you need to lead them to use that process and answer their questions and hold their hands and hold them accountable to make sure and ensure they use that process that dictates the high numbers and success they're looking for and gets it to them quick. Now, I've said quick several times. What do I mean by quick? If you have an advisor and they've been there for 60 days, 60 days, and they're not hitting at least your minimum standards, and they're not on the path to making $75,000 to $100,000 a year, it's likely they never will be. Now, the biggest reason for that is because you didn't train them, okay? But it doesn't take any longer than that to make somebody successful if you've got a proven process, if you've got training, if you lead them, and if you hold them accountable. Now, I get pushback on this all the time at conventions and dealer 20 meetings and workshops. Jeff, it's the hardest job in the dealership, and it takes a couple good years to somebody become a great service advisor. No, it doesn't. 60 days. Now, how can I say that? Well, if you take a look at the whole fixed operations department, the whole thing's based off of one cell, and that one cell is an oil change. So therefore, everything above an oil change is an upsell. So it's real simple. Either you can get it or you can't. If you can, hallelujah, you're probably going to have a great career. If you can't, now we need to train you. Once we train you, it's now no longer can you or can't you. It just gets down to will you or won't you. And if you will, you're probably going to have a great career. If you won't, then get out of the way. Now, again, I stick to the 60 days. They say, well, it doesn't seem like a lot of time to me. It is. Let's do some numbers. The average service advisor out there writes 15 repair orders a day, meaning if they're doing that, that's 75 a week, that's 300 a month, and in 2 months' time, they will have been in front of 600 of your customers. And here's my opinion. If they can't figure out in 600 attempts how to help somebody out in such a way that the customer wants to buy everything that's presented to them, give them a perfect survey score, come back and do business with them, giving them the retention, not ask for discounts, giving them the effective labor rate, and you give them no heat. If they can't figure out how to do it in 600 attempts, it's one of two things. Either they're not committed, they don't want to, or you did not train them how to do it. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. But you're losing your people, I would bet. I've never been there. Could be other reasons. But I would bet, I've seen it dozens and dozens of times, it's because you're not showing them how to be successful once you get them there. I mean, you're just not. Now, I got a third question we're going to get into here. But before I do, I want to tell you about some things going on at Pro Talk. One I addressed a second ago, and that is I got a new virtual training program. Just spent nearly $250,000 on revamping this thing and 6 months of hard work putting this thing together, and people are loving it. Sales are off the charts. If you want to get your people trained, you want to have me in your store every day through virtually, this is the way to go. It's not only got our training program on there, it's got a quick start, it's got testing that you can see, we can see, we got a virtual training manager who will help you out with your people. It's got my books on there. It's all kinds of stuff. It's great, and it's very easy to fit in anybody's budget. As a matter of fact, if you're an individual advisor and your manager and dealer won't buy it for you, call us. We got a special thing for you. Also want to tell you about my private workshops, man. They are off the charts. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm in top form. If you want to have, you've got a group and you can put more than 20 people in a room, give me a call, and I will come out and do private workshops for you. In-store training. Nobody beats our in-store trainings. We get the absolute best results. Within 5 days, give us 5 days in your service drive, we'll get you a 5/10 increase. We'll show you how to get your customer retention above 80% within nine months just from that first 5 days. We'll show you how to eliminate heat cases, have highest hours per repair order, highest sales, all that stuff. I've got the best in-store trainers. Nobody beats my guys. Nobody. It's real simple. Right now, you should be having your absolute best year you've ever had in fixed ops. If you're doing that, then you're probably doing pretty good. If you're not, you're doing something wrong, you need to call us, we will fix it. One more question here. This actually, I don't even know who to assign this to, because this question came up no fewer than 300 times. I mean, it was amazing. It kept coming up over and over. How long do you think the employee shortage is going to last? Jeff, how long do you think the employee shortage is going to last? And here's the quick answer, not long. As a matter of fact, it's already starting to break now. Now, how do I know that? Why do I confidently tell you that? Because every generation that comes along is doing what this one is now. Now, COVID kind of brought this one more to light because it hit more than just the youngest generation. A lot of other people kind of got on this bandwagon too. But if you take a look at every generation, they get in college or they get out of high school and they get this idea that there can be a utopian society. And the best example I can give you of that is the hippies from the late 60s. You know, if you look at the hippies, it was all about love and peace and no war, and we don't like the corporate world, and capitalism sucks and America's not fair and blah, blah, blah. Same crap you're here today, right? Well, then take a look at what happened 5 years after that. Because what happened is, see, one of those hippies running around, there's 10, 15, 20 a group. One of them decided one day he didn't like laying around anymore. So you know what he did? He cut his hair. He took a shower. He got dressed. He put on a suit. He went and applied for a job. He got the job. He worked the job. And then a year later, he went back to his other hippie friends and said, hey, did you see my new house? Did you see my new boat? Can I show you pictures of my vacation I just took skiing in Colorado? And they said, wow, how did you get that? And he said, I went to work and I got money, and that's how I was able to do this. And then if you fast forward in history, you know, if you go from 1968, 69, 70, where the hippies were real big, and you go into the early 80s, those same hippies that were against all this stuff were running corporate America. Same thing is going to happen right now. As a matter of fact, it's already starting to crack. I was watching the other day where there's news sources coming out, and they're saying the Great Resignation that just happened last September, October. This just happened. This is not even 6 months ago. The Great Resignation, they're finding that over 70% of the people are regretting resigning. And people that quit their job and went to something that had less hours and less money, they're regretting their decision. Why? Because when you're locked up at home with COVID and you can't go anywhere, and you just get to lay around, you don't have any, maybe not as much income coming in, but you certainly don't have as much going out, then you think you can do this utopian thing. But now that everybody can get back outside like they've been doing for the last 45 or 60 days, what they're finding is that to go outside, you just can't go out and stand in your yard. They want to go places. They want to go out to eat. They want to go on vacation. They want to go to plays. They want to go to movies. They want to go do all this stuff. And what does it take to do that stuff? Money. And so these people are starting to already crack and realize that they're going to have to go to work if they want to have the lifestyle that the United States of America will give anybody that's willing to go work for it. So this thing's about over. I mean, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back good. As a matter of fact, I most recently was looking for employment, and or not employment. I was looking for somebody to fill a very high level position we have here, and I can't tell you how many of them told me they made a mistake, and they were looking all the jobs they were doing. They cut it back to 20 hours, and they just couldn't make it. They couldn't afford the houses. They couldn't afford the cars, and they couldn't afford all the luxuries of life, and they're ready to go back to work. So I'm telling you, we maybe got another 6 months of that, if it's that. But as a matter of fact, I don't think you do. I think by next August, you're going to have more people applying than you've ever had. So I don't think that it's going to be anything more than that. Every new generation gets in their head that they don't like capitalism and the utopia, and they're not going to work, and they're going to lifestyle. And they find out that the real true lifestyle is being able to go do things, go to the movies, it's going to picnics, it's going to restaurants, it's going on vacations. And to do those things, you have to have some level of money. How do you get money? You work. That's what we do in the United States of America. 40, 50 hours a week. We work. Okay? So with that, that's about all the time I have today. I just want to thank you all for listening to me and hanging out there. I mean, like I said, I'm going to have a whole new series of these coming out over the next several months, so you keep watching right where you're watching it now. Listen to it, you're watching it now. If you have any questions about me or what we do here at Pro Talk, you dial 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931. Anybody picks up that phone can answer any question you have. You want to see us online, go to automotiveservicetraining.com, automotiveservicetraining.com. Our website's a pretty killer one. And if you want to talk to me personally, here's my cell phone number, area code 317-506-1003, 317-506-1003. So that's all I got for you today. Between now and next week, go out and make the best of everything. Be the best you can be, because that's what I'm going to do. And with that, I say, God bless you all. See you soon. Take care.